welcome back to the program, Dr. John Hoveniesen from Harvard Eye Associates. Thank you for joining us.
Good to see you, my friend.
So a new study came out that links falls with vision, which is kind of like, to me, it's like, yeah, okay, well, so what's the new part? But let's talk first about how falls happen around. What are some of the common ways that elderly folks do come up with falls?
Yeah, falls are a tough subject and yet a very, very important one. We know that the likelihood of people falling, about 1/3 of the population falls per year after age 65. And that percentage goes up about 1%, a little less than 1% per year of life. And so really it increases with time, and it's due to a lot of different things, as you ask. So one of the things that contributes to falls is diseases like diabetes. If you have low blood sugar or you take medication that regulates your blood sugar, we know that dementia is a major cause of falls. Right. And medications tie into that too, because cognition often relates to medications. And
right, if there's any impairment because of the medications as a side effect.
If you take 4 medications or more, your risk of falling goes way up.
Wow.
And that's just because the likelihood is that that combination of drugs is going to have some effect, not that you have dementia, not, but on your perception. And certain medications alone can cause trouble. Those that cause dizziness or can cause alterations in your blood chemistry can cause people to
and even
fall.
the inner ear issues if you're having hearing problems, because that also has a lot to do with balance too. Even that's not your area of expertise, but those are one of the factors too.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So many things.
Balance is a big one. Muscular issues. If you have orthopedic problems with knees or ankles, you often have difficulty recovering when you start to fall because there's not strength in that, in that limb, in that joint, and so all of these things lead to falls. And we know that for people 85 and older, the majority of who fall, the majority of injury-related deaths are, well, they're related to falls.
Related to falls, right? Then
yeah.
they're hospitalized, then they're in lack of mobility, and then things start to spiral, unfortunately, right?
And so just like, at a younger age, we try to exercise and eat right and do things to keep ourselves healthy to prevent risk of certain diseases like heart disease. As we get older, we need to shift and think about risks of falls as its own problem. And so we need to address that with, by taking care of ourselves.
So what exactly did this study say about the connection between falls and vision?
Well, so vision, obviously, if we didn't mention it, but vision obviously is related to falls. If you don't see well, you're not going to see a wrinkle in the carpet. It doesn't take very much reduced vision to meaningfully alter, your ability to prevent a fall. Wetness on a floor, easy to miss if you don't have clear vision, or other subtle things in the pavement, unevenness in pavement that causes people to fall all the time. And so it's long been known that poor vision relates to falls, but one thing that has not been as well recognized related to vision is the use of bifocal or progressive glasses. So just to cover the subject briefly, as we get older, our eye loses the ability to see both far and up close. And so if we just correct our distance vision with a single vision pair of glasses, we can't usually read with that same pair of glasses. We need to put in a second lens. That's where a line comes in, or 2 lines if you have a trifocal. Or a progressive lens, where you get rid of the line, but the bottom of the lens focuses differently than the top of the lens. And yet all of those cause distortion when you look down, especially the progressive lenses.
I know that 100%. I have sunglasses that have readers on the bottom so I can look at things when it's sunny day. And I go downstairs over the beach and I have to take them off because the lines are messing me up so bad.
I do exactly the same thing because I have exactly the same type of sunglasses, and you're absolutely right. It will, I can't hike downhill with those, over uneven surfaces. That distortion
is legit.
It's a real thing. And as you get older and your balance and your strength decreases. So wearing progressive or bifocal glasses is associated with more than 1/3 of falls that happen in seniors. And so as we get older, I guess for our viewers, there's a couple of messages. First of all, have a regular eye exam, because if you haven't, you may feel like you see well enough to get to the grocery store and go to the familiar places you need to. But you're greatly increasing your risk of falls if your vision is not normal. And so update your glasses or do whatever you need to see well. So annual eye exams are strongly recommended by the American Academy of Ophthalmology for anybody over age 65. And then And then if you have a problem that requires treatment, cataract is the most common one, take care of it. Don't wait until the last moment to do that, because you do increase your risk of falls. And then I guess the third message is, if you're going to have surgery of any sort and there's an option to correct your eyes so that at least you have clear distance vision without glasses, now you can get rid of progressive lenses or bifocals. Right? And if you can do that, you won't need to wear them when you're walking around. So you can have a pair of readers you put on when you sit down to read. You can even have progressives that you wear, for desk work and working on a page. But take them off when you're walking around, when you're going places. You wear sunglasses that are non-progressive so that you're less likely to fall.
Now, some of the things the study recommended, let me get your take on some of these things.
Yeah.
False screening assessment interventions by optometrists. So there needs to be some training for your world, right, in terms of recognizing that that's a risk for a patient and telling them what to do in terms of prevention. Yeah.
And so if you're having an eye exam, it's a great idea to ask your doctor, hey, I'm concerned about falls. What can we do to prevent me from falling, from either my eyewear or my vision strategy? Another thing we haven't talked about is monovision. A lot of people say, well, I wear progressives because they're so easy. Well, monovision is the idea that one eye sees far and one eye sees near. And this could be done with contact lenses. This can be done with surgery, like cataract surgery. And then you generally don't need glasses at all, because you have one eye for distance and one eye for near. And that doesn't compromise your risk of falling. People with monovision retain very good what we call stereo acuity, or depth perception.
Really? It's not like a chameleon where you're seeing different.
Yeah, no, your brain uses the two eyes together, and even if the second eye is a little bit blurred, it still helps you in 3D processing.
So it helps you with the dimension.
There's very little reduction. It's somewhat surprising in 3D vision when we have one eye just a little bit defocused for up close vision. So that's an option. We have fancy lens implants that can help people to see better when you go through cataract surgery, and a lot of those folks don't wear glasses for anything because they're really amazing technology. So talk to your doctor when you're having an eye exam about falls and what you can do to reduce them. That's the important thing.
And then in professional development, one of the things it said was like maybe allow fall prevention, and for optometrists to be one of the things that you can do for your annual kind of a professional development.
Yeah, that's right. We are educating. I'm involved in a lot of professional education for both optometrists and ophthalmologists, and we focus on fall prevention because we're beginning to recognize what an important element it is and how we can help.
And what can seniors do are there classes that you can do to teach you how to fall safely, how to build muscles or build resistance to falling in the first place?
Well, so you bring up a great point. Good physical fitness and strength and flexibility, because balance is greatly related to flexibility of your muscles. You have a hard time, your muscles are working harder to stay in balance if the joints aren't flexible. They're fighting against inflexibility. So keeping yourself fit is number one. And number two, I think, I don't know specifically here in the village, but I have to imagine there's all kinds of opportunities for educational classes to help people prevent falls.
Yeah, yoga and stretching classes and all those kinds of things.
It's all
Absolutely.
Great. It's all great.
What role do emergency departments in healthcare, when they have someone come in and they've had a fall, how do they assess what was the root cause of that fall?
This is the sad thing, is that in most emergency care situations, they're looking at not Band-Aid, but solving the problem that has resulted from the fall. And they may do a little bit of counseling on preventing falls, but that's not their focus in the acute care setting. So it's really between you and your doctors in a preventive way to talk about falls before they happen, to make it less likely. I mean, it's just, once you fall, it leads to injuries that immobilize and cause other problems, which cause you to exercise less, which cause you to be less flexible and strong, which cause you to fall. In fact, one of the chief causes of falls is having had a previous fall. So preventing the first one ought to be everybody's goal.
That should be it.
Yeah.
Folks come in and get an eye exam. Should they be asking you specifically about what do I do to prevent falls, and do you have advice for folks?
So all of our eye doctors and all eye doctors everywhere, you should ask about falls. That's exactly right. If you're concerned about them, ask about what can I do with my eyewear or surgery or whatever we're doing to help me see well. that will help minimize the risk of falls.
Okay, get those annual eye exams.
You got
Dr.
it.
John Hoveniesen from Harvard Eye Associates, thank you very much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure seeing you, Michael. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're watching This Day. We'll be right back.